Dude, what's with the shades, bro?
You know what? I saw these on Ollie, my kid's bed today, and I'm like, I'm gonna rock them for a minute.
Nice. I feel
Can't
out of
see
place. I wish I
anything.
had
No,
some too.
I can't wear them for the rest of this thing. This is crazy. I can't see.
I
Um,
love. I just love watching you nystagmus. That makes me feel at home. So it's all good.
thanks, brother. Well, let's dive in, man. I'm all about being on time, and I called you in because pitch alert for everyone. If if I'm seeing it, I know I also saw it in the holding tank. So if you guys aren't in the holding tank, that's an excellent community for all the Close for Cairo peeps that Dan and his team uh nurture on and love on after post and more trainings, because we're going to dive into why you need more trainings when you're dealing with selling to poor people. Of course, I bet we're going to hit
Yep, yep.
that. But I saw something in your group and it resonated with me. And I'm going to start here. I think it's a mindset thing. I think the biggest thing we got to address right off the bat is, and I'm so much into this right now, is thought mind consciousness. I'm going back to health realization stuff because I've been working on myself. And I think it's so important that we address the elephant in the room. Yeah, the economy sucks, no matter what people are saying. The economics can say inflation's going down, but that doesn't mean prices are going down. And I'm seeing that so many people are struggling with uh, oh, let's just say it, man. They're just poor. And when I message you, you go, great hook, bro. And I think you got it right away. So I'm gonna lean in first. Here's the setup for today, guys. We're gonna talk about how to sell to poor people. I brought the expert in here on closing, and then we're gonna talk about how to market to not get as many poor people in. But I want to say this right off the bat. I maybe look like this hippie Big Lebowski dude, but at my heart, I'm a capitalist, Reaganomics. Everybody knows my mentor, Roger Stone. But also on the other side is, dude, I grew up in a practice that everyone got somehow got the opportunity to get chiropractic care. So there's a heart in me that says not everyone's gonna be a Lululemon yoga wearing pant mom who walks into your office. And there's also the perception of the prejudgment. This is why I was posting about I love when people pretty women me. You don't know until you build that rapport and build that. And I'm gonna lean into Dan. So we're gonna start with you, man. When I brought up this case of how to sell to poor people, I know this is pressing in you. What the fuck is going on with our people out there? Why are they struggling so much with this, and how can we help them?
All right, let's start up. Before that, I'm gonna do my little overall here for literally 30 seconds. Uh, yeah, Tristan looks like him, but um, this is what geniuses look like. All right, and I don't use that word lightly. That you are absolute genius. You see things that most people don't. Half the time, I don't understand what your fuck you're saying, which tells me like, man, you're operating in a different world. But when this topic came up, um, how to sell to poor people was the quote hook, and it's very apropos because people are poorer, right?
Mm.
Because things are more expensive,
The
which makes
divide is
people
happening. Yeah.
exactly, and people are more relatively poorer. Dude, I feel it. I go out to dinner, same thing I've done for the last 10 years, let's say, it's completely different. I buy a bag of groceries, although I'm doing a lot of the shopping in my house, but I still do go buy a salad by the pound and a soup for lunch and stuff. I do that on my own. And it's like, what the hell? I thought maybe something got rung up differently. I'm
Yeah.
checking receipts now. Not that like, I don't complain about, going out to dinner when I do, but I look at the receipt. I'm like, how the heck is a dinner for three $161 at PF Chang's? Like I don't,
Yeah.
like what's going on here? So the biggest divide that I'm seeing right now is that because of this, and it's only going to get worse, guys. And I hope it does get better, but let's just prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? Is that the marketplace is now way more discerning on every dollar. Watch, hold on. More discerning on extracting
Mm,
as much value from every unit dollar being spent,
mm.
right? It's not that they're poorer, maybe in a lot of cases they are, but if they're spending a dollar now, the rate at which they're attempting to extract value out of that dollar is 10x, as
Yeah.
opposed to before. It was like, okay, I spend a dollar, I get X, Y, and Z. I'm okay with that. Now it's like I must extract as much value as I can from one unit dollar than I have before. Does that make sense so far?
Oh, totally makes sense. So
That's the problem.
where do they go? Let's go right to the end because the most important part is the closing, and you guys are the leaders in getting the yes with less stress. But there's more stress because of the mindset of their scarcity and your scarcity, and it creates this bubble. I think this vacuum sometimes where that mindset's so fucking important. Where can they get help in the close? What are some things that your guys and girls are doing out there that they're doing better? And what are they training on? What are some tips that you can give them to help them close people that might have that scarcity mindset going on?
No doubt about it. First of all, I just want to say hi to a whole bunch of people that are joining us right now. A lot of tankers in the room. And it's funny, these tankers that I've been working with, I mean, talking OG Tristan, like 10 years plus, right? They're still on things like this, getting fundamentals. Okay.
Mhm.
So there lies the next thing is that we don't know what we don't know. And if for anyone that's listening right now, if you haven't even accepted the fact that sales is a thing, right? And I've talked about this for literally for the 5, 6, 10, the last 5, 6 years is that if you don't engage that sales is a thing, its own science and philosophy and art, then you're already sunk, right? It's not
Yeah.
an esoteric thing, right? Like adjusting technique, Tristan, is a thing. Like we work on it technically. There is a mindset, there's an art,
Hopefully.
there's a philosophy. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if you do a sport, it's art, science, and philosophy. It's technique involved. There's repetitions involved. There's things to know about it. Sales is the same thing. So number one, if you haven't even engaged that sales is a thing, log off right now until you get there. Then you come back because if you don't, then you're never going to follow the steps. You're never going to
Yeah.
trust me enough to be like, okay, I need to do A, B, and C. Back to my tankers, OGs, they all fundamentally understand that sales is a skill first and foremost. It's a skill that we're not born with. No one's born as a born salesman. I am the proof in the pudding right now. I was anti-sales. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to sell. I don't want to confront. A typical immigrant family. Like, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to make people do it something they don't want to do. I don't want to make it uncomfortable and ask them for money. I mean, it literally almost, drowned me out of the profession. Back in like 2003, 2004, right? So that's number one. In terms of the steps here, I'm going to go just overview first and we could dig into it.
Yeah.
Is the current marketplace, because they're poorer, Tristan, and I know you see this too, is that they are all suffering from bad sales PTSD, is what I'm calling it.
Mm.
We all walk around with that bad experience of that very, very bad man that tried to make us buy something that we really, really, really didn't want, need, or desire. And that stays with us.
Yeah.
I have plenty of examples. Tristan, I'm sure you do too.
Yep.
Anyone listening right now, I'm sure you can remember that dude or the dudette that was a real motherfucker, right? That made you feel really shitty, that made you feel guilty that you didn't close, right? That you didn't buy. And you go home feeling like total shit. And you can't really put your finger on it until many years later, until maybe some therapy, and you realize, oh my God, that time that I went to buy that Honda or whatever. Okay, I'm not picking on Honda or a bad salesperson. They made me feel so bad about myself
Yep.
because I didn't buy. How many times do you think we've bought from guilt or we've bought from bad salespeople because they did this weird voodoo mumbo jumbo Jedi mind trick bullshit, and we bought from them, and then we always find remorse after we bought, and we try to figure out a way to get out of it. How many times does that happen to us? Too many, right? Well, your marketplace is suffering with that same level of PTSD. So right now we call it the BS meter, but Tris, man, the marketplace BS meter, if it was like here, it is now here. They're big fucking radars, right? They got
Yep.
16 like sensors and they're 360 degrees around. They're looking for every little thing that their deep amygdala brain is looking to see who's right out there ready to hurt me. And that bad salesperson is there to take my shit because I'm poorer and I can't extract value anymore. And I don't want to deal with that guy who made me feel really, really bad back in
This is really
1997.
true. I wrote an email today about Costco loss leaders, and I'm still a big fan of loss leaders.
Love that.
We'll
Love
know
that email, by the
the
way.
pillow stuff that came out years ago. I got a story from someone the other day was telling me one of his patients went to get a pillow from another chiropractor in his town, and the girlfriend or whatever who went in, she said, told her boyfriend, stay out here, park out front, because they might kidnap. This is real shit that goes through people's heads. I'm
Real
going in to
stuff.
get a free pillow and they might rape me. That's not funny, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying.
So
Yeah, it's real stuff.
this is real stuff. So
It's real
they're
stuff.
they're going. I'm hearing a lot of mindset stuff here that's so important. Again, and I want to harp on this, that mindset and practice and repetition of knowing that sales is a thing, that putting into practice. So let's fast forward a little bit to, man, they don't have the finances. So this goes back to one of our, if you're a salesperson, you know this movie, you know the leads are weak, right? We've
Yep.
joked about this before. So are the leads weak? Are they too poor to pay for this? But why are they in the box? Like, these are all the questions that go on in my head. What are we
Yes.
doing to
Yes.
control this
Yes.
narrative?
Yes. Well, let's go right there. Why are they in the box? And for those of you who don't know what we're referring to, the box is where the sales cycle happens. This is when the relationship between in our case doctor and patient is established. This is the same place where a client or a customer will go in with a salesperson, right? So first things first, okay? I don't care how poor people are and how crazy it is out there. The poorest of the poorest of the poorest, okay, that have even the people who seemingly don't have two nickels to rub together, and I could speak on this because I've been there, okay,
Mhm.
and I've been broke, okay, so I remember what it felt like to cut up an apple for our kids because we couldn't literally afford dinner that night, no joke, guys, okay, or scrounge for change around the house between the cushions. Somehow, even in the poorest of portraits, we still figure out a way to pay for things that we really want, need, or desire.
Right.
Somehow, somehow we figure that out. The people in your office that say that, oh, this is too expensive, I don't do it, they're walking around with a $1,500 supercomputer in their pockets they paid cash for, okay,
Yep.
or making payments on it. They buy stuff. They also spend more than they should on cars or on clothes or out to dinner. Somehow the poorest of the poor still figure out a way, right?
Yep.
And we're not talking ultimate poverty level here, guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. They figure out a way to get it done. They figure out a way to pay for things that they truly want, need, or desire. That's number one. Tris, also understand, they walked into your office. You didn't wrangle them in. You didn't lasso them in and be like, come on in. You didn't go out to the community and literally force them into your offices. They came to you under their own volition. They chose to say, you know what? I'm going to get up and brush my teeth, get the kids dressed, get in my car, plug in the GPS, go to this place I've never been to before. I'm going to walk in. Who does that? Who does that?
Right.
I'll tell you who does that. Someone who really wants, needs, or desires something. The the mere fact that they showed up to your office is the biggest buying sign that you could possibly get. Tris, I know you know sales, and I know you know B2B sales. You know that one,
Yeah.
and I know you've tried to start other thing. Let me ask you this: it's just professional salespeople in general selling chiropractic. Where does that stand in terms of the difficulty? Like if you had to assign a degree of difficulty in selling chiropractic, someone who actually comes into your office and doing like door to door or
Oh
like
God. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So if you're going, well, if we're comparing industry, well hunting, B2B stuff,
yeah,
very long sales cycles, right? Like we're talking about, it could take 6 months, red tape, bureaucracy, people having to sign off on
right,
compared to, I
right,
mean, I would take this all day. That's where,
all day,
all day.
all day. In the grand scheme of professional sales, Trish, you know I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Selling chiropractic is a freaking layup, as at least it should
And the
be.
lifetime value of a chiropractic patient, comparatively, even in the healthcare space or in any other B2B industry, is astronomically higher if you have your sales skills down and you can keep them and retain them. Another story, but
Totally.
absolutely.
Totally. So it's easier because again, the buying sign that they first walked in. So I guess the do level here is that the fact that it's a mentality thing, obviously, and and when it comes down to it, it is a mindset. It's the fact that everyone that literally that turns your doorknob into your office, okay, you're starting from 100, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because we don't know what we're doing, we're literally chipping ourselves away in terms of the odds of the close. And Dr. Kordonsky, sophomore year at Boston University, differential equations math, he said, and I took differential equations math. I dropped it, but I remember this after the first week of class. He said, everybody starts 100% A plus. And he goes, quote, you can only fuck it up from there, is what he said. So essentially, what he said was, everyone started at 100, bro, right? Everyone started at 100.
Yep.
You can only screw it up from there. And that's kind of how I see, people who literally walk into your office, you can only fuck it up from
Yeah.
there. And we're constantly fucking it up.
So where are we
We'll get
fucking
into
up budget questions? Like let me without giving away the sauce, but as much as you want to give, and obviously if you guys need the help, which you do, the answer is close for Cairo. That's why I have Dan in here, and there's no way you should be saying I can't afford or invest in my return on investment for close for Cairo. What are some things when it gets to the budgetary questions or when it gets to that closing on I can't afford? Because you've had some great tips that you've shared in the past on giving people better options and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Tell me about some of that insight.
No doubt. Number one, you have to know your numbers like cold.
Yeah.
The worst thing that you can do in any financial conversation, whether it be in your offices with new patients or whether it be in your own family, if you're having a discussion about finances in a family setting, is that if you are not prepared for that meeting or that part of the day two, and you're not prepared with the numbers and you don't know your numbers cold, I'll tell you what happens. The uncertainty about the numbers
Mm.
literally penetrates the prospect into something shady. Something's not right.
Yep.
There's something about this situation I don't trust because the last time PTSD, when I bought a car and I knew the MSRP was $90,000 and I asked him how much the car was, it was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I got to ask my boss. Like, how do you not know how much something is worth? There must be some shady shit happening behind the scenes that I don't know about. I don't trust this person. I need to go home and think about it. If you don't approach and you don't show up with knowing your numbers cold and stating the numbers as a matter of fact, okay, you are
Mhm.
literally clicking off so much bullshit meter stuff that, and this, we don't have the time to go into the psychology of this, but mistrust is
Mhm.
is like a waterfall. You know what I'm saying? As the water comes off, it gains momentum, and at some point, you can't reel that shit back, and you're done. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep.
Gaining trust is completely the opposite. It just takes so much energy to get it. But once you get up to the top, the last couple of steps is really, really easy. But it's so easy to just lose that mistrust because you don't know your numbers. Now, watch this. When we, and we have over 10 years of experience with this, when we listen to people doing presenting finances. So, everyone listen up, pen to paper. This is the moment. Tristan, the total cost of your corrective care protocol where we're going to correct all the areas of subluxation so that you feel better and then we could maintain it. The total cost is um 4,172, but then you have some insurance involved, and if we factor that in, insurance may or may not take care of 11.2%
Ping.
of that, a
Ping.
little bit. And then but we have a couple of options because I know this may be really, really expensive. All right, just choke yourself out right there. So if you really want to, you can actually maybe kind of sort of at some point in the future, but not really, but potentially maybe at some point, be able to break this up into monthly payments over the next 100 fucking years, man. Like that. I just like hit my head on my mic because this is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And if you're doing any sort of that, you're done. As opposed to Tristan, the total cost of care is 4,422. This is how much you be paid every
Shut
single
the fuck
time.
up.
One time payment, 39.42. Which way works best?
And let them figure it out. That's where the shut the
That's
fuck
it,
up
man.
comes in
That's it.
because we want to oh but wait, here's another option. Oh, instead of just letting them let me figure this, give me 5 fucking minutes to figure this out.
Thank you. And that happens, Tris, because perspective wise, because we're into our own process, because we don't own it and
Yeah.
we're winging it every single time that in with a new patient, that we have no chance on getting into their perspective. I want our docs, at least the ones we work with, is to know your shit so cold that you're unconsciously doing this the process so that you can always be keenly aware of what your prospects are thinking, feeling. That way you can bob and weave and adapt in those situations. But if you don't even know your numbers and you don't
Don't
know what
know
you're
your
going to
numbers.
say and you're deer in headlights, bro, like you're panicking internally, right? And all
Yeah.
you could think about is, should I just email my prices to my patient after today and follow up? Should I do that? And that's called bailing. That's jumping ship, right? Man, how dare you? Like, someone's coming in to ask for help and you don't have the gumption and the skill and the preparedness to appropriately tell someone exactly how much something costs. That's so
Yeah.
disrespectful. It goes beyond the non-close, Tris. It's disrespectful. We're
Really?
disrespecting them because if you flip it around, if I came to you, Tristan, for some help, and you skirted around what it cost me to work with you, and I really, really wanted what you had,
Hmm.
and you skirt around the finances, I'd feel insulted. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, is something what's going on? Like, why can't you just tell me how much things cost? I don't understand, you know?
Two things I love that. Two things coming up for me. I did segue into, one of the biggest things is shut the fuck up and letting them decide and not over talking them. Obviously, that's something. I share a story of one of our favorite people, Tyler Reed, out there. We're talking about selling the pillow thing. I'm gonna give a shout out to Trey Llewellyn, who, if you guys don't know, Trey Llewellyn helped create this pillow program. We were doing training with me and some other guys on some sales stuff, and he literally, Tyler, I don't think Tyler's on this, but Tyler is a tanker. And Tyler goes, "Well, I gotta go ask my wife." And Trey's sitting there, we're on a Zoom like this, and Trey goes, "Yeah, okay." And Tyler's like 30 seconds later, like, I guess I'll go upstairs and go ask her. Okay.
Exactly.
And literally, we have this on recording. 3.5 minutes later, Tyler, we hear him coming down the stairs. Okay, I have the credit card.
Exactly. Wow. What an apropos story of that is, right?
So the other thing is
Absolutely.
options. I just want to talk because you've talked about, what about helping that client that might be in that? What are your best tips, advice for extending out,
Mm,
giving them better options, but also being confident in presenting that where it's not like a
yeah.
waiver. Yeah.
Great. And this actually will find its way into the new edition of our manual with its eighth edition, probably by August, because we found that as people get more discerning and as people need more options. So here's a concept that I want to leave with you guys today: is everyone, not everyone, most people are millionaires. Okay, a lot more than you think, right? Not because they earn a million in a year, because a lot of our patients are millionaires because they've earned $1 million. I'm just using the number for an example. At some point,
You're right.
some people did it in a year, some people did it in 5 years, some people did it in 10 years, right? But we've all earned a big amount of money. It's just the biggest variable is how long did it take you to do that, right? So knowing that, if we know the rate of earn is getting longer, if you think about it that way, then the solution to that problem is that we may need to actually extend payment terms because it's just taking them longer to earn the same amount, right?
Yep.
Because they are poorer and they're spending more. Okay, so that sets this up. So fundamentally, we need to have as few options when presenting finances as possible
Okay.
because the fundamental concept is confused minds don't buy. So
Right. I believe in that
I'm
totally.
gonna I'm gonna say something that's gonna make some people mad. I don't care. So the proponents in the industry that say when you're presenting finances, you need to print out this beautifully printed out sheet with a billion fucking numbers on there and equations and how insurance works and itemization of each particular service, and you slide that over to your prospects and you point to numbers. My gosh, you want to lose a close at the finances, confuse them. That is one guaranteed way they're out the door, right?
Right.
So we have to keep the presentation of the finances as simple as possible without putting too much in front of them. So, two options, for example, prepay option, 3-pay option. Let's just say, okay, you
Yeah.
could choose whatever your options want. Prepay, highest courtesy, 3-pay, less of a courtesy, which way works best. Now, I would recommend we do this. You present two options, right? But I want you to keep a third option and a fourth option in your pocket. Now, let's talk about those third and fourth options.
Okay.
The third and fourth options are not necessarily options that you actually want your entire patient base to sign up for. Okay. So for me, I like prepay and 3-pays. I really don't like monthlies for 6 months or 12 months, right? I just don't like that. Okay. Some
Okay.
people do, whatever. So, but I'm going to have a 6-month option in my pocket and a 12-month option in my pocket. That way, when I present my two best recommendations or options and they have issues with that, now I could say this. And this is a quoted script that I want everyone to say when they say, I really can't afford it or those options don't work for me. Is number one, Tristan, my recommendations are my recommendations. Why do we say that? Because I don't want them to water down my best recommendations. It's
Yeah.
unethical, right? Why would I recommend something that you don't need? So my recommendations are my recommendations. However, How you decide to pay for it, I am actually flexible on it. So, by that statement, you're protecting your best
Right.
recommendations. And now you're presenting them with other options. What do you present them with? Options 3 and 4 that you have in your pocket. So I know the 3 pay doesn't work, Tristan. Is it the total amount that's a concern, or is it the payments? Role play with me, Tristan.
It's the total amount. I can't cover that right now off the top of my bank. I can't do that.
Understood. I totally understand. I totally agree. Remember, always agree. Let me ask you something. Is the 3 pay an option? Could you do 942 a month for 3 months?
That'd be tough, dude. Honestly, I don't think I could pull it out.
Okay, you and a lot of people else. No worries. Don't worry about it. Remember, my recommendations are my recommendations. I'm just trying to figure out the most flexible way to get this to you. Let me ask you this. You know your budget better than anybody else. If you had to invest monthly for a length of time to get this corrected, how much could you do comfortably per month to get this problem corrected?
I mean, like 450, 500 a month.
Okay, so 400 a month you could do comfortably.
I could do that.
Okay, now watch. Now I have a number that Tristan is comfortable with. Now I go into my pocket and I look for options 3 and 4. Option 3 is, I don't know, 500 a month for 6 months, let's say. Okay, I'm just making up a number.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to what Tristan said he could do, 450. Then I come back and say, all right, listen, what we could do is 500 a month for 6 months. Would that work for you?
That I could pull that out.
All right, great. Let's just do that. Okay.
Okay.
And then you proceed, right? So now you work with the your patient on a more consumable, let's say monthly, because now this person's probably thinking monthly budget, right? Monthly
Yep.
payment, which is totally fine. We all operate like that, and you have that option in your pocket in case you needed to present it. In this case, you did need to present it. One more thing about the third and fourth option. Again, they're not your ideal options, right? So the way I try to do this is, okay, I can live with this option. I'm not might not be crazy about it, but I can live with it. And you keep them in the pocket. That way, if they do take an option that you're crazy about, it's not totally going to keep you up at night, but it's certainly going to save a close that you normally would have lost.
But the big thing I heard back is then you're still sticking to your standard of care recommendations. You're not pivoting on what you need to be the doctor. You're not.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's huge. A lots of gold in this. Let's pivot. Let's change. Let's change course. So here's the deal. Phase one of this is you're going to deal with port. Let's look at America. That's why I've been posting these politician stuff because I'm reminding you this is America right now. There is going to be no way that you can avoid. You're not going to say, hey, I'm going to use some words from other places, some velvet ropes and all this stuff. It's if you want to grow a prosperous practice, you're going to work with, as Dan stated, poorer people in this time frame that we're dealing with. So here, I'm going to bounce off some stuff with you. So, one, I might die in this sword literally in old age, hopefully. But what do you think about the option of? I think we need to have other products and services to sell to different people that don't fit into the boat that we're in. I have been a big believer in building a checkup practice, an annual exam practice. I used to stay up late at night drinking with my ex and arguing how the hell do we go down to Panama with Sigafoos and see people once a year and then go back up to our country and sell 36, well, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you think from your framework and from is that a viable, and this is where we said we could disagree with each other. I'm just curious
Yeah.
what your thoughts are on selling an annual exam and selling a product and service as an annual exam to bring people in. One, two, having other options for people that might not be ideally built for care plans, or are we diluting chiropractic in that way? I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that, and maybe this is why this is not taken off.
Um. Okay. So here's my take on it. I fucking agree. I agree. There has to be a portal of entry that is accessible to people that may not want to do your best recommendations. And I'm not even saying it needs to be done by you. Like, well, let's take the joint for example, right?
Yeah.
Very low obstacle, very low portal of entry, very what's the word? It's easy to
Right.
get there. I think that's really, really good. And here's the thing is, and for all the premium level uh docs in the room that do very unique niche work that requires a high commitment for time, energy, and money, let's just say,
Yeah.
you all understand that if you are operating at that level, the only way you can get the marketplace to appreciate that more is for them to experience something that is not
Different.
as premium. That
Yes.
is that is, you know, it's like for example, like let's take my car journey. Okay, I'm a car guy. Like when I first got my car, it was an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme station wagon. That was my first car. I thought it was awesome, right? Because it was my only set of wheels,
I
right?
had a Cutlass Supreme when I was younger, dude.
You did? What color was it? What
It
color
was
was it?
blue. It was turquoise
Oh
blue.
man. Ah, yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
Mine was white, man. But station wagon, and it was just a piece of junk, and I drove that all through high school. But then because I entered the market with a Oldsmobile, which they don't even make anymore, then I start to develop a feel and a taste for cars. Then I go to the next car, the next car, next car. And now my taste in cars is, sorry, it's
You
bad.
can't go
It's
back.
really, I
Yeah.
can't go back, right? And even hotels, like my first hotel probably was like a Motel 8 or something, or Roach Motel, whatever. Now, like, I'm sorry, I'm a hotel snob. Like, I can't stay in a Holiday Inn. I just can't do it. You
Yeah.
know, I can't stay in an Embassy Suites. I just can't do it. So your marketplace, if we can offer them, Tristan, and I want to ask you more about this, offer them like a yearly exam program, or something that's more accessible, right? Less
Yeah.
commitment of time, energy, and money. We're actually helping the marketplace discern a taste for this thing called chiropractic, because
Yeah.
right now they can't tell the difference between premium level chiropractic, right, and
Yep.
non-premium level chiropractic. It all seems the same.
I'm a big,
That's
coming from the allopathic model for the years that I spent in the OBGYN and med spa industry, is the one thing I saw that they were doing so right was selling that annual exam. Because from
mm-hmm.
that annual exam, you would have 1,000 patients, and then the 20% that would come out that unfortunately had cancer or other big things that were high ticket procedure based outcomes. But what about the 80%? And to me, my answer is just follow that model. If you could have 1,000 member practice, it's paying you $250 a year just for an annual checkup, no adjustment, just your
Yeah,
monetizing on your brain and your knowledge and what you
yeah, no
your
doubt.
nervous system. It's a $250,000 practice with 1,000 members.
No
And
doubt.
from there, this is what I'm going to get into. If you don't want to work with poor people, segmenting. So, big thing I want to hit with you guys is now let's transition to how to not market to poor people. Well, the biggest thing you can do is you got to own a list. Okay. Me and Dan have massive lists in the chiropractic space, and those lists are segmented. Many of you that are on it, where we know what your financial threshold is, what your budget, what your business is doing,
Yep.
what you're
Yep.
attracted to, what you're not attracted
Right.
to.
It's
That is
kind of
real
creepy
marketing.
though, but it's
It's really
true.
creepy. That's what real marketing is really creepy.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I can tell people is don't give up on building a list just because, oh, that might attract poor people in, or that might attract this demographic in. You need the culmination of that list, so then you can then
No
segment
doubt.
that list out and find the ideal patient that you're looking for, or the one
No
that you
doubt.
want to work with.
No
We
doubt about it.
I didn't mean to run over time, but let me go through these fast with you guys, and we'll bounce. Okay, so I want to bounce this with you. So first, before I get into this, one last thing. So options on the close. You're a proponent of buy now, pay now, later stuff or care credit. I'm a big fan of that right now because it takes the weight off of. Is that something as
Mhm.
an option? Also, you think that people should?
Totally. It's always has been an option.
Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go into, like, I don't want to market to poor people. The first thing I want to get off top of it and is, look, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. I had the luxury of growing up a Cairo kid. When I went into my actual first paying for a care plan with a specific chiropractic, upper cervical, let me just tell you the reality. The hours was not to my liking. And unfortunately, when you work with people that work and have money, let me ask you this. Are we fucking up on our hours and availability? I think we are. When I see people closed on Friday and Saturdays, I think you're lessening your options for people to work with that actually work and have money to pay you. Could I be
Mhm.
wrong? Absolutely, but I'm just want to get your feedback real quick. Hours, is that an issue?
Dude, if you're able to be open 60 hours a week plus, by all means. I mean, you're right. You have the accessibility there, but obviously there is a constant balance between X, Y, and Z, and that's always hard to navigate. But yeah, I mean, the availability in hours is critical. Now you have to balance that with your lifestyle, and if you want to work. For me, in the practice, I mean, if I was actually in full time practice, yeah, I would try to figure out a way to hit every marketplace I could. Obviously, I'd be trying to figure out how to do it without me there, but I would definitely be trying to do that if I could. Absolutely.
All right, location, locate marketing. There's a reason why markets in marketing. If
Mm-hmm.
we have locations, if it, I always use this story of back when I was in San Francisco and the Groupons were starting off, and my company, Dr. Base, was first one to start pioneering with Groupon. Hey, doing Groupon deals. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
blame anyone for these Groupon deals in healthcare, you can point your finger at this guy. Now, here's what we found: Northern Meridian, like North San Francisco, Marin County, Eastern European, German, culturally they did not resonate with Groupons. But
Mm.
South San Francisco, Filipino, Latino culture, Groupons were like, culturally, this I always share this story. Culturally, you look, from growing up Asian, that
Mm-hmm.
there's a cultural thing about getting a good deal.
No
So
doubt.
market determines what you're going to be drawing in. So if you don't want to work with certain markets, you might be in the wrong market. I'm just going to say that. Like that's something.
Totally.
Yeah.
If you know how to reach them, which is, the
Yeah.
part, the first thing, we could spend 2 weeks on the first thing instead about building a list and segmenting. But
Well, let me get into that. So this is the biggest thing. If you guys, so I just said the Groupon offer. So Dan, we're gonna have some cognitive dissonance here. I am not, everyone thinks I'm against the 27.49, the low bear. We just talked about this. I am not actually against it. I am against it from an exhaustion level, one.
mm-hmm.
Two, I think that you have to have other different ways to get people in from a conversion standpoint. A
No
discount
doubt.
bundle offer is just one of those options.
Exactly.
I believe that you also have to have your freebie offer. I
Exactly.
think you have to have your singular discount offer. And I'm going to tell you this,
Yes.
you can go look at Facebook ad library. Kelly will give me permission. I'm going to talk to her. Kelly, is it where I don't know how to pronounce her last. Kelly,
Uh, Winarski?
yeah, Winarski.
Yeah.
We
Uh-huh.
just launched with her what I call an apply funnel. And this apply funnel is it's not about an offer. All it is, hey, we've developed a program to help heal sciatica. We have a 92% success rate. We have 7 openings. You see us do
Mm-hmm.
this all the time in B2B marketing. It
Yep.
extends the consumer market. We have nothing about discount offer. We're actually saying apply here and see if you're a fit, and we'll contact you back and we'll determine that. You guys can go check out our ad and stuff. I swipe and deploy all you want, but I think you have to be versatile. The one trick pony $49 offer is only going to get you one segment of an audience.
Correct.
So if we don't want to market to certain
Yes.
people all the time, so there's that.
Oh,
The last thing I'm gonna say, and there's so much more we wanted to get to, but I'll give everyone who signed up some extra cool goodies. Um, Last thing I'm gonna say is I know that we want to work with people that have money, then your advertising and marketing should be specific to working with industry specifics. What I mean by that, for example, your advertising, if you're going to run ads for chiropractic care, why not make that tailored message towards a local company? So we run this with my people. We run ads that are specifically focused on, do you work at Carrier? We develop a
mm-hmm.
program. We have hours and accessibility exclusively for you because of your work hours. Fill out this form below to see if you're a good fit for our Carrier specific program. So when you want to start working with people that have money, you have to go where they go and develop the relationships. And a little couple shout outs recently in the holding tank. I saw Sherry Ray, is it Sherry Rayleigh? I don't know.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, really. So
Rock
she
star.
she 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 promoted this. Hey, I just did this. I'm not gonna use this language for trademark infringement, but it always have something. I'm gonna call it engaging events. Always have
Mm-hmm.
engaging events going on with your target market and ideal client. One of the things that you guys are so fucking good about, and this is when you want to sell people that have more money, it's about the relationship. And the biggest takeaway I got the last masterclass, Dan, was I didn't, because I've been so the last couple of years that rapport doesn't fucking matter. But I'm gonna tell you guys this: rapport changes everything, including the
Mm-hmm.
truth that they're telling you. So, real life example, I got somebody that we just signed up for working with one of my coaches that's in my ecosystem, And the first initial contact I have with this guy, broke, don't have any money, everything's going down the drain. A little bit of rapport building, some complimentary work being done with him. 3 sessions later, oh, I have $1,500 a month I can spend.
Amazing how that works.
So we have to
Amazing
be
how that
in
works.
relationships. Stop that. We have to build relationships, because what you guys are doing with building relationships is this. Let me go try something. Oh, fuck, they didn't give me money.
Right.
They don't want to be. You have to be in relationship.
Exactly.
And part of that
So
happens with
funny.
the process that you guys teach in Close for Cairo. I had so many fucking aha moment light bulbs going off that in Chicago, dude. I'm going,
So funny.
this is why rapport, the number one thing that you guys start in the, and probably I think the most time you spend, ironically, is on that section.
Yeah, and
But
let
if
me
you
just
guys
say
are
one thing.
chirping on
Yeah,
being in relationship, you're fucking up the truth that's coming out from these people. That's
let me clarify for those about rapport. Rapport isn't about please like me. That is not rapport. Okay. So when we say rapport, we have to define it. It's not like, oh, look how great I am. Look how much I care about you. Like that is not rapport. It may have been maybe 20 years ago, but the next generation of rapport is completely different than what it is now. So what it was then. So
I want to give one last takeaway, just something real quick for everybody. Again, working with people that have money. And I'm gonna give you guys to swipe this away because I think this is a great fucking play for everyone out there. We're
oh,
talking about
screen
building
share.
a list. Yeah, we're talking about building a list. Trader Joe's. Guess what their demographic is? I'm because I'm curious from your mind. What do you think who their ideal client is?
Um, I don't do a lot of the shopping, so I'm gonna say young mothers.
You're in that range.
Yeah. So
45 to 50,
female.
45 to 55-year-old women,
Uh-huh.
Caucasian, who make over $100,000 a year. This is a
Interesting.
campaign that we just ran. Now, here's the thing: just giving away a shopping cheat sheet. We've gotten $1 a lead. We've gotten over 400 leads in this campaign that we've been running. I tested in other markets. It's running the same thing. Here's a cheat for you
Wow.
guys. Align yourself with brands where those people who spend the money. So if I know that I want to reach 45 to 5-year-old mothers who have disposable income or have a higher income bracket market, I know where they're shopping at. There's a reasons why you want to align with other brands, even if you're not even this is so brilliant. This is where this is where I'll
So
think I'm a
good.
genius. So
So good.
we're giving
So
away a
good.
cheat sheet for those people that shop at those areas, and we're building up that segment. I know that you care about health. I know that you care about feeling better. Boom, you have your newsletter list right off the bat with just a swipe like this. So I wanted to
Right.
share some stuff with you guys today. I wanted to bring Dan in,
So
help
good.
on the closing side. You're going to work with poorer people. There's no way around it. You've got to
No
get
doubt
better
about
at
it.
sales. You've got to work
Absolutely.
with Dan Bay and Close for Cairo for that. If you want to start going up market or whatever the fuck you want to call it and attracting specific industries, specific avatars, I'm here to help on that. Dan, this was
Wow.
awesome,
Okay.
man. I was so glad about
Dude,
that.
I know, dude. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just, oh my gosh. So what Tristan just showed you right now is okay, that's a actual a sales move because that whole process did not start with Trader Joe's. What it started with is what is the perspective of the people that I want to serve? That's where the question first, and then somehow it became Trader Joe's. If you guys want to know the workflow of this, it's the way we do it in chiropractic is to just freaking ass backwards, where we start with, oh, let me start with Trader Joe's and how do I make that work? No, 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 no. It's always about the perspective of the people that you're serving. And then you reverse engineer that. And that's
Yeah.
how you come up with the creative idea of a Trader Joe's cheat sheet. Dude, that's friggin' brilliant. Now, watch what happens. I know we don't have time for this, but you get the leads from that at whatever 84 cents a lead, whatever. And
Yeah.
now
About that.
you got them segmented because Trader Joe's is 45 to 50 female 100,000 earner or more. That's segmented. So it's coming into your list as female 45 to 50 100,000 in the
Yep.
zip code. Oh my God,
Yeah.
guys, if we just did a fraction of Tristan's genius right here,
I
like
appreciate it.
game over. Like chiropractic wins. Like
Well,
it's
we're
like
doing it together,
game
and
over.
that's the last thing I'll leave you guys with. Here's where we're going to go with this. I'm going to build in public on this. We're going to record this down. We did it. And I'm going to run a co-branded ad. I'm going to circle up with Dan later in the next couple of days, and we're going to run a co-branded ad, bringing people that didn't sign up for this. That's another strategy that you can do. Align yourself with where I know I work best with tankers. Why? They make more money. They have more money to spend. They are easier to work with testing stuff. And so I align with Close for Chirodocs because it's easier for me to do my work. Do the same thing in your own community. Find those people that are serving the same people that you want to serve, and stop looking at them as competition and start looking for collaboration.
No
So,
doubt.
notes for today, lots of nuggets. Hope that was helpful for you guys. Love you, man. What's the next masterclass?
Online starts March 25th, May 3rd and 4th, live in Scottsdale.
Beautiful, guys. Get your guys' asses to Scottsdale. Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.